Welcome to Otaku Flashback TV, fellow otakus. I'm your anime guide, and today's story is something truly extraordinary that'll leave you questioning everything you think you know about power and potential. Picture this. You're the weakest student in the most prestigious magic academy. Every single day, your classmates mock you, teachers doubt you, and everyone expects you to fail spectacularly. Your family has sacrificed everything, literally their home and livelihood, just to give you this one chance at becoming a mage. The pressure is crushing, the humiliation is constant, and failure seems inevitable. But here's the twist that changes everything. What if you weren't actually weak at all? What if you possessed not just one, but two of the rarest magical elements in existence? What if the very people laughing at you had no idea they were standing next to someone who could potentially become the most powerful mage in the entire school? So grab your favorite anime snacks, get comfortable, because this recap is going to take you on an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're excited, subscribe if you want more incredible anime stories like this one, and ring that notification bell, because trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next in this absolutely mind-blowing tale. Ready to discover the truth behind the Academy's biggest underdog? Let's dive deep into this unforgettable story together. Our story starts with a boy named Mo Fan, who is in his third year of middle school. He's really worried about a big test he has to take. It's not because he's bad at studying, it's because the test is about magic. In this special school, all third-year students need to pass a hard magic test to get into the magic academy they want. Mo Fan explains that he didn't have enough time to study because 3 months ago he was sleeping up in the mountains when a strange old man found him and gave him a special necklace. Now his classmates always pick on him and make jokes about how he'll probably fail the test. They say he's the worst student in their class. We meet another boy named Mu Bai, who is completely different from Mo Fan. Mu Bai is the most popular kid in class and comes from a family that's really good at ice magic. After school, Mu Bai's dad is waiting outside for him. His father has always been very kind and does whatever he can to help his son, but he's worried because Mo Fan's grades are bad and he doesn't have enough points to get into magic school. So his father found him a job as a delivery driver that he could do instead of magic. But Mo Fan begged his father to let him try again and promised he'd study even harder to get into the school. His father tells him not to worry and says he'll do everything possible to help Mo Fan get into magic school. While walking home with his friend, Mo Fan sees his father talking to his boss. This boss is the leader of the Mu family, who are the richest and most powerful people in the city. However, this family has a really mean personality, especially toward Mo Fan's family. In a flashback, we learned that they've known the Mu family for a long time. When Mo Fan was little, he used to spend a lot of time with the daughter of the Mu family. One day, the daughter wanted to run away from her family because she didn't like how they treated people. She snuck out and asked Mo Fan to help her escape, but they got caught by the boss, and he punished Mo Fan's father for helping her. Back in the present, the boss says he'll help with Mo Fan's future and make sure he gets into magic school. But there's a catch. In exchange, Mo Fan's family has to give up their house and property so the boss can turn it into his own land. Mo Fan's father agrees to give up their home just so Mo Fan can have a chance to become a magician. Later, when he tells his son the good news, Mo Fan is super excited about going to magic school. But his father doesn't tell him they had to give up their house. Instead, he lies and says they'll just rent out their house while Mo Fan is at the academy. But Mo Fan knows the truth because he saw his father talking with the boss earlier. The next day, everyone starts their first day at magic school. All the students need to awaken their magical powers. Some students talk about what kind of powers they might get once they go through the awakening process. They say that lightning and fire are the rarest and most powerful abilities you can get. The teacher gives everyone a special badge to wear. Once they get their power, the badge will light up in different colors depending on what element they have. For example, green means wind, red means fire, blue means ice, and gold means light. The other classmates make fun of Mofan for being the only student who didn't pass the entrance exams. Everyone tells him not to be surprised if he can't awaken any powers at all. Each student has to put their hand on a magical stone that will show what elemental power they have. Mubai goes first and gets ice power, just like the rest of his family. Once you get your elemental power, the badge shows stars represent how strong your ability is. Most people don't start with many stars, but Mubai already has 1 star, showing his ability is pretty strong. The other students take turns using the stone until the teacher calls Mufan's name. The others start laughing and saying he'll probably get the worst element because he failed the exam. Mofan walks up in front of the class and puts his hand on the stone. The others keep laughing because he doesn't know how to use it properly, but the teacher helps him. After some time, nothing happens with Mofan's stone. Then the whole class gets distracted because they hear noise from the classroom next door. A student there just got the purple ability, which is lightning. This is known as one of the rarest abilities along with fire. While everyone leaves the classroom to see what's happening, Mofan closes his eyes and suddenly the stone lights up purple and red at the same time. This means Mofan has both fire and lightning abilities, something that has never happened before. This makes him the most powerful student in the entire school. But nobody saw what happened because they were all distracted by the other student next door who also got lightning power. When they come back, they only see that Mofan fire element. The teacher congratulates Mofan, and the other students are really surprised because they all thought he would get the worst element. Mofan starts laughing to himself because he knows he actually got the lightning power too, but everyone thinks he only has fire. 2 months later, all the students learn from their teacher, but Mofan only has. Everyone makes fun of Mofan and laughs because he hasn't made any progress with his element. They all say he's an embarrassment to the rest of the class. But the reason he only has 1 star next to his badge is because it only shows his fire element, not his lightning power. His lightning power is actually already at 6 stars. He still needs to master the 7th star. Later, Mofan finds his sister in the park. His sister can't walk properly and uses a wheelchair. But Mofan notices that some bullies have taken her wheelchair and are making fun of his sister. He goes over to the bullies and asks for the wheelchair back, but they tell him to get lost, or they'll hurt him too, just like his sister. Mofan gets really angry, and at this moment, he uses his stars to unlock his full power. He manages to form the star path and activates the star. Mofan uses his lightning ability to attack the bullies, who beg him for mercy and run away in fear. Meanwhile, Mubai visits the boss of the Mu family. They talk about Mubai's 5-star ability, and the boss is proud of how far he has come. He asks Mubai about Mofan, and Mubai says that Mofan only has 1 star and is known as the school's worst magician. The boss Mubai they need to find a way to get Mofan kicked out of class and make him fail his next exam. The next day, Mubai asks the boss how he plans to get Mofan expelled from school. The boss shows him a small stone called a magic stone that can absorb energy. They plan to use it to make sure Mo Fun gets worse than a D grade on his next exam. But their plan might not work because Mo Fun has been training his firepower and can now use 5 stars. However, he says it's still not good enough and that his fire energy is too low. So he starts concentrating harder than before to prove to the Mu family that he's a worthy magician and deserves to be at the magic school. The day of the exam arrives. The teacher explains that they'll be testing how much more powerful everyone has become over the last couple of months. To test their powers, they'll use a crystal ball that can measure how much power they've gained. The ball will glow, and if it glows the right amount, it means they've become strong enough. All the students line up and start testing their powers. The school's best student, named Mu Ning Shui, is chosen to demonstrate the exam first before the other students take their turn. She uses the crystal, and it shows the power of her ice magic, which shocks all the other students. Everyone starts taking turns using the ball and showing their power levels. Some of them get B grades, and some of them get A grades. Then it's Mu Bai's turn, and he gets an S grade, which is the highest grade possible. Then Mo Fun's name gets called to test his power. When he gets called up, the boss secretly tells the examiner to put the magic stone under. This will absorb Mo Fun's true power and make him only get a B grade. Mo Fun is suspicious and feels like something is wrong because he's sure his power is much stronger than this. So Mo Fun uses the ball again, and this time he ends up breaking the stone. After seeing Mo Fun's second try, his teacher feels like something was wrong with the crystal. He tells everyone it must be broken, so the inspector changes it. When they change the ball, we finally get to see Mo Fun's real power. As a result, they give him an S grade, too, making his classmates proud of him. He also tells the examiners that he wants to do an optional extra test. This is where he shocks his classmates even more as they get to see his true fire element powers. He's now considered the #1 most powerful student in his class. After that, the Mu family leader, Mu Ji Woo, offers Mo Fun a ring as a symbol of respect for getting an S rating. He asks Mo Fun to forget about their family problems and offers him a job working for the Mu family. But Mo Fun takes this opportunity to tell him that he and his family are terrible people who go around humiliating others just like they did to his father. The teacher tells Mo Fun to calm down and apologize to Mu Ji Woo, but Mo Fun says he won't apologize. He mentions all the bad things the Mu family did to them 3 years ago. The Mu family tells the teacher that Mo Fun should be kicked out for being rude to guests, but the teacher says he can't be expelled just for having an argument unless it went too far. So Mu Bai challenges Mo Fun to a fight. But then the leader of the Mu family says that Mo Fun will be fighting his adopted son named Yuong. Mo Fun accepts the challenge. However, this fight can only happen in 2 years because they're not old enough yet and the school won't allow it. 2 years later, the new school year begins. The professor welcomes everyone to the elite class, which is only for the top-ranked mages. In this class, students will get special items called magic equipment that will greatly improve their training. The top 4 students in the class get to use this equipment for a whole month. However, the teacher tells Mo Fun that because of his argument with the Mu family, he'll only get to use the equipment for 10 days. But Mo Fun has his own special equipment, the necklace the old man gave him. His teacher, Miss Tong Yu, visits Mo Fun and explains that this necklace is the most powerful magical item, which was thought to be extinct. She tells him that this necklace is a growth type of equipment that absorbs all types of souls and spirits and keeps making his abilities stronger. So, the students go up into the mountains to meet an army leader for what they think will be basic training. But the army leader actually wants these students to participate in something called the hunting program. In this program, the students will hunt real enemies and test their magic skills in real combat. Mofan and the others start completing different tasks until they find a cave. The army leader tells them to go get a bracelet that he lost inside the cave, but there are one-eyed wolves hiding inside. The commander told them it was just a one-eyed wolf inside the cave, but that was a lie. The wolf is actually called a spirit wolf, and it's under orders to go easy on the students to test their skills properly. They all go inside the cave and eventually face the giant wolf. Most of the students are scared, except for Mubai, who uses his ice magic, but it doesn't hurt the monster much. Mofan quickly helps a girl who is brave enough to step in front of the beast, but Mofan knew she wouldn't be able to hurt it, so he gets her out of the cave. But the same girl runs back inside to prove that she's a strong mage. But even her second attempt doesn't hurt the monster, and she's gotten saved just in time by the student with the lightning power. Mubai also tries a second time, but gets thrown to the ground. Then Mofan enters the cave just in time and tests his magic by activating his stars. He uses his fire element to shoot fireballs at the beast. This unlocks a new level of power called Ignition, and now he's at level 2. This shocks the teachers who are watching from above. The commander tells that the wolf is no longer listening to his commands and he can't control it anymore. So, the students might be in real danger and they need to go down and save them. The beast was completely out of control, so Mofan and his friend, Zhang Zhou, lead the beast deeper into the cave to protect the other students. After they both lead it in, the beast attacks Zhang Zhou.